Yo, I'm here and I'm ready for the 18th stream. Live feedback. Let's get it. Submit your tracks now in my Discord in the description. I'll give you feedback. We're going to listen to mixing. We're going to listen to how hard your track is, and I'll give you the good feedback. If you guys want to submit, go ahead and submit, and we shall get down together. Otherwise, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are going to go in for the win in this upcoming year. Let's open up Ableton, or as I should say, Bableton. So first submission. Let's go ahead and go down here. Okay. So first submission is going to be from Nemesis, called Still Working on This, but would love feedback. Heart. Let's get it. Hey, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. Jorge Santos. Let's go. Yeah. Let's go.
It got all filthy.
Nice. Yo, 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 yo. Sup, Saber? We'll be moving to Twitch soon.
West Coast. West Coast.
Oh, very nice, very nice, very nice. From Nemesis, still working on this, but would love feedback. Solid job, I must say. So honestly, during the drop, we have some sick stuff going on. To be honest, though, the intro sounds very low volume and needs a lot of work, I think. But when we get to the drop, things start to sound better. So we can go ahead and look at the LUFS and the width here together. If you see here, we can open up the ozone imager to see how wide everything is during the drop. Now, if you guys see here, it's all in the middle. If I was to get like one of my songs and show you the same thing, you'll see a difference in the waveform, right? So if we go here, add an imager, and check this out. It's full width, right? But on our song here, if we add an imager, we're all mono. Everything's just in the middle. So this is a huge problem. It sounds decent, right, in the headphones. We're listening to like a mono signal, but if you were to play this in a club and there's a whole stereo setup and it's meant to show everyone the left and the right and the whole stereoscape, it would sound just dramatically different. So you got to make sure that you have your song not in mono. This looks definitely abnormal. You know how mono is. Oh shit, sorry. So your master is probably like mono, like mono's turned on a utility maybe in the master. Go ahead and check, make sure that you're checking how wide your master is as well as your individual tracks, because this is affecting the song a lot right now. Otherwise, song arrangement, sound design in this drop is sick. I like it. It just doesn't sound bright enough or wide enough because of the mono issue. And then when you fix the mono issue, this should fix the intro a little bit. Just add some compressors to make this a little bit louder. Get that to like -9 LUFS. Start measuring your loudness levels with LUF meters and start measuring your width with these free imagers. This is free ozone imager right here. But yeah, you got that. Otherwise, I think that's really it. I like that track. Next, Manslaughter. Goat, by the way, we can't do the Marshmallow Subtronics House Party Goat edit because that is a song that's already been used. That's a copyright flag. Manslaughter, Hollow Point. Let's get it. Okay. Cool vocals. To be honest, this track does need a lot of work. I can see that you're going and you're learning more about call and response, you know, because there is some type of call and response here, but the rhythms and the flows seem a little bit too repetitive. So we want to switch up the main bass lead rhythm. It's going rah, 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 rah. So that's almost going too fast. You could start messing with slower rates as well as spreading out different rates throughout the drop. That will make it sound a lot better. I like the sustain playing in the back. The sub that's being played is too high. It's not like low enough. So it's not really, you can't feel it in your chest. You can only hear it. And this is bass music, and subwoofers are meant so that we can feel the bass, not just hear the bass. So make sure that your sub isn't too high of an octave. Make sure it's in the 0 octave. And then you can also make sure it's not playing all at once. If there's a little bit of space in between each sub note, it'll feel like there's a rhythm with the sub. I recommend trying that, testing out different sub rhythms, and of course getting the sub to a lower octave so that we can feel it. Plus, it'll make the drop sound a lot harder if that sub is fixed. And then lastly, the downbeat. So like it goes down, down. This thing is really too low in volume, and it just kills the energy from this transition. So if you were to fix this little section, the transition from this downbeat to this response would be a lot more seamless, and it would feel amazing. So definitely fix that, make it a little bit louder, and use more dynamics, right? So if we have something loud playing and then another thing that's loud, start to add silence and start chopping things up so that it can sound different compared to the loudness that's going to come afterwards. And then on the intro. This is all cool, right? But the drums are for rhythm. So the drums, perfect. The guitar's playing, so we have some type of melody. But there's no harmony, and there's no like low frequencies being played. The guitar is high frequency. We only have high frequencies being played. So we're missing a lot of frequencies that could be filled up. It'll sound a lot better if you were to add maybe another guitar that's lower octave, other instruments that are lower octave, start layering those together, and then fix like these open spaces. No need for that open space. You can add like drums or maybe even delete the open space. Check your timing, make sure everything's good. Use reference tracks if you need your timing to be perfect. Otherwise, if you make all those changes, I think you'll be on your step to something fire. Your loudness levels are good. And if you see here in the imager, we're wide as well. So that's all fine and dandy. Awesome. Good job. Nice. Up next, we got Mipsy with track number 2, test 3. Exquisite. Damn, it's
Life is earnest and I've got to go on, then your life is a drag and not a game. Now, it's my contention, my personal opinion, this is my basic metaphysical axiom, shall we put it that way, that existence, the physical universe, is basically playful. There is no necessity for it whatsoever. It isn't going anywhere. That is to say, it doesn't have some destination that it ought to arrive at. In music, one doesn't make the end of a composition. If that were so, the best conductors would be those who played fastest. People go to a concert just to hear one crashing chord, because that's the end. Same way in dancing. You don't aim at a particular spot in the room. That's where you should arrive. The whole point of the dancing is the dance. People go to a concert just to hear one crashing chord, because that's the end.
Wow. Gosh. Ipsy. Oh my gosh. You've been submitting for the past couple weeks and your tracks are evolving, right? They're evolving into something that is more manageable, more danceable, and still very creative. Your resampling is on point in this breakdown when these vocals are playing with.
My contention, my personal opinion, this is my basic metaphysical axiom.
It's really clean, like very clean. All the mixing in this is really clean. And what's unique too is when we're going from the build up, we kind of get thrown into this color bass fiesta. It's a big fiesta. And we're partying. And we're using lots of dynamics. We're switching between phrases. Everything's moving constantly. And we even get to super unique sections that just are not expected. You know, I think that's one thing everyone needs to learn from is like bring the unexpected, you know, and if you can make that sound good, that's what we're looking for. Nowadays, it's so easy to make music and we all have access to computers that we're all hearing the same stuff all the time. We need to hear different stuff. If you want to impress people, that's how you do it. Start bringing the unexpected, but make sure you know how to use your tools. Use music theory, use sound design first so that you can get to a high skill level and start bringing it down like Mipsy's doing. This is cool, very unique. I think that in the drop, it is a little bit like too distorted, too clipped. You can even see when we zoom out, it's starting to look bricked. So that needs to be brought down. Can't have too much compression, too much distortion. It has to be balanced. And as soon as you get that, man, this is going to start sounding very masterful. And also I recommend in these breakdowns, adding some like drums or tambourine or just something very subtle and in the background that can keep us dancing. Because we were just dancing here. Imagine at the festivals when you break it down, we still want to keep dancing. So add some rhythm in these sections or anything that moves so that we can keep dancing in these little sections and then it'll transition to beauty. Good job. Let's see, you're killing it. Loud enough and wide enough. You already know. Up next, we got Scarpe with Cruel. Work in progress. All right, let's go. I see you, Scarpy. Wow. That is a piece of art. Very good. Oh my gosh, so much to say. That's positive. Nothing really negative, honestly, because song arrangement and sound design was on point. Loudness levels were perfect. We're at like a beautiful -3 LUFS. Wideness levels are just magnificent, where we can actually see great mono signal with oh gosh. The thing I was most impressed by is that when the drop starts, we're moving and changing between phrases effortlessly and having like unique subtle changes, you know? All these subtle changes add up to the whole drop sounding like something that's unique and it doesn't sound repetitive. I keep hearing new things that I'm interested in and I keep wanting to listen to the next section because it just keeps changing. So good job. The type of sound design, like the type of bass, is very percussive, very transient-y. It's not everyone's cup of tea. I used to have friends who would stay away from this type of like sound design. So I'd keep that in mind. People have different tastes for this type of percussive style bass leads. But I love it. And one thing you did really well is the choir that's in the background. It makes everything make sense. Everything's harmonically correct. The frequencies are working well together. It's mixed well. This is good, man. This is really dope. Even the breakdown has some crazy psychedelic, like off the rate sounds. So it's just cool. This is why I love listening to these streams, so I can hear new music like this. It gets me inspired, makes me want to make music. Good job, Scarpy. Killing it, dude. I would release it, honestly. Make a whole little world around this song and release it. Up next, we got ZYXV. Kill 'em. It's you. Hey, Jorge, thank you. Another super chat. You boss. Shout out Jorge Santos. Shout out ZYXV. We kill him. Nice. Those are some vibes. I really like the soundscape that you made. It felt cool. It took me on a new adventure. It took me on a new storytelling place where I just wanted to close my eyes and just release. The only thing is that this sounds too long, right? If we're to play this is taking up a big section. You can even see this is longer than the drop. So it's not really the best time. I would shorten this up, figure out a song arrangement that makes sense so that we still get these vibes, but we quickly transition into the drop. And when we get to the drop, we're looking at loudness levels, right? We're at negative 10 LUFS right when the drop hits, which is very low in volume. If you were to DJ this song next to another trap song, it would sound significantly lower in volume, which is lower energy, and it just wouldn't sound good if you were to DJ them with another song. So you need to make sure you use compression, use saturation, you start grouping things, and you start making things louder. You want clean gain. You don't want things to distort. So if you need help with that, my parallel processing video is the secret magic trick that will help you with that. So watch that. This is negative 10 LUFS, right? So we will want to get to like negative 7 LUFS, about there. The loudest part in this drop is hitting negative 8 LUFS. That really should be the minimum loudness level that you go on the drop. And then keep in mind, everything else before that drop could be a little bit less loud, but not too much. You could go from negative 10 all the way up to negative 7 from intro to drop. That would be just fine. And then in the drop, main lead. So main lead, doing the same exact thing. Only thing that changes is it pitches down an octave. We really need more variation. You can start automating filters to start changing that main lead as it's going through the drop. Or you can start adding pitch bends on certain lead notes so that some of those notes sound different than the others, because that lead will get repetitive after a while, especially if you want this drop to be a little bit longer, because this is like 16 bars. You really could even make this a little bit longer if you wanted to. But yeah, those are things you could work on. Otherwise, I like the feeling of the song. I like the vibes. I would just fix the song arrangement, of course, on both of the build-ups and the breakdowns. Otherwise, good job. Up next, we got Face My Fears, work in progress, from Jackson Snippets. Face My Fears, WIP. Jackson, let's go.
Gonna face my fears. Gonna take my time. Gonna face my fears. I'm gonna cry my tears. Gonna face my fears. Gonna take my time. Gonna face my fears. I'm gonna cry my tears.
Very cool. Very nice. Some color bassy vibes. Man, this is cool. I really like the emotion that you're bringing here. Now, the only thing is that main color bass lead sounds a bit distorted, almost too distorted. I want it to be distorted, you know what I'm saying? But we need like a balance between the clean and the distorted bass lead. I think if you were to find a nice balance there, it would sound a lot heavier, a lot harder. But I do love how the sub is moving with everything. And that cool melody that comes in, very awesome. I would just really start to use your EQ, you know, because in these sections, you can hear there's a lot of mud frequencies building up, a lot of ear-piercing frequencies building up, and all those frequencies need to be tamed, and they can easily be tamed with EQ on individual tracks in your song. The mud frequencies are from 100 to 400 hertz, so make slight or major dips in those sections. And then for the ear-piercing frequencies, those are multiple frequencies around the 1,000 to 10,000 kilohertz range. But what you can do is add a Fletcher-Munson curve, EQ, that looks like this. And when you add this, you can turn the scale down. And then this turns down the ear-piercing frequencies. You see this? All these right here. Boom, 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 boom. Down. If you need this, it will be in my Discord in the general chat. Just search for Fletcher-Munson curve. It's there. Get that free download. But yeah, this will help. This is amazing. I use this all the time. Usually I just use it barely, like this. Like a tiny little bit. Maybe like this. So yeah. Clean up your tracks. And then after you clean up, you can get a little bit louder. Right now, let's check the loudness levels. We're at -5. We're wide. So loudness levels are good. We just want to make sure that when we turn up this interface all the way up, it's not hurting our ears and giving us frequencies we don't need. I'd work on that, and you'll have a solid song. Good job. And also, make sure the vocals. Yeah, make sure the vocals on time. Make sure it's warped properly, like perfectly on time. That's important. All right, next song. Trust Me on This For Real by Basics Sonaire. Let's get it. Trust me on this for real.
Yo, Dripment, it's me, Basics. I just want to let you know that this is supposed to be a remix of Virtual Riot's and WIP and Nothing. But I just removed the vocals because I know there's a copyright issue on the stream, so I just removed like this big main bit. There's still gonna be snippets here and there, like pre-drops, mid-bits, you know. all
Yeah,
that
we're in the
stuff.
future.
But yeah, enjoy.
Let's go. Let's go. Yo, that's basic snare with trust me on this. For real. Good job, dude. Sick intro too. Thank you for respecting the copyright infringement that the YouTube Lord leaders have bestowed on me. I don't like it, but I just try to follow. Anyways, this song, heavy. Loudness levels, wideness levels on point. I really like what you did here. Very nice heaviness. If we look at the dynamics, right? If we see how things are going from super loud to soft, like quiet, this is impressive. And this is being done very well throughout the whole drop. Now, the thing is when we get to like this last section of the drop, we keep doing the dynamic shifts. But since we did those shifts so much at the beginning of the drop, I think that you could easily let these basses ride out and sustain out, and you don't have to dip down in dynamics because it sounds very hard. Like da-da-dun-dun, they just keep going, you know, you don't have to boom that. And I think that would just be a perfect ending to that drop to lead us to the break. That would be sick. Good job with the rhythm. Good job with the flow. Make sure that you are taming all your mud frequencies and EQing each individual track. With tracks like this, since we're layering so much, building so much, we have to be extremely cautious of all the frequency buildups, and we have to be using our EQs very often. And then on the second drop, man, the energy builds up so well. The fake drop, so sick, beautiful, that we're just expecting a super, super heavy, hard second drop. But when the second drop hits, the main like fast bass lead that's playing on top of it, it's like overpowering everything else. So like too many frequencies are clashing with each other. Too many things are not flowing properly in the mix. So you can get that main fast bass lead like and get an EQ and just slowly bring it in. You can basically take out some highs, take out lows, take out mids, all at the same time until you find it fitting with the rest of the mix. Or if you need to, take it out, remove it, and just make it minimal at the beginning. Just try to make it sound as hard as possible during that second drop because you built it up very well there. As always, man, good job. This is awesome. Very minimal, I have to say. Just trying to get you to that next level. You're killing it. Up next, we got Dreams. And Dreams is from Drew. Oh, I'm excited for this. Let's go.
Tend to be deliberately superficial. It took me a long time to realize that that's not enough. You need emotion. Story relatable for the audience. They tend to be deliberately superficial. It took me a long time to realize that that's not enough. You need emotion. Story relatable for the audience.
Ooh, that outro. That was nice. Very clean. Whew. I knew I got excited for a grand reason, and that's because Drew is always coming in with that heat, that melodic heat. Melodic heat. Harmonic heat. Amazing. So, I really like that this is a different style. You know, this is like some 128. This is like some house music. This is like some like 120. I don't even know what BPM this is. Maybe like 120 to 128, but this is feeling cool. Reminds me of like some Cold Blank, like Far Too Loud that I used to listen to back in the day. Kind of like Complextro style, sick bass music. The thing is, back then they didn't have as much sub, as much bass, but now it's so modern, and this sounds like the future. We have lots of sub, lots of good mixing, lots of cool new sound design. It's being contained very well. The only really negative feedback I have is that in this section, when the sub is playing with all the other sounds, the sub is like playing in a triplet pattern, like a slow triplet. So it sounds like two rhythms are playing. Especially in like that. Like it's building up in regular time and in double time. And then you have a triplet sub playing. So it just doesn't sound like as danceable as it could be. It works, you know, technically. But if you use just regular timing, like eighth or quarter note, then I think it would feel a lot more danceable, make a lot more sense. And then if you see here, like you can tell this is a lot lower in volume than this. And when we look at it in the LUF meters, we're at -10. The drop is perfect loudness, I would say. Or like -6, -5, and hitting -4. So that's beautiful on loudness. Plus, it's that loud, and I can turn my audio interface up really loud, and it sounds super clean. So that's a really good thing. But in this breakdown and this intro, so like this breakdown over here and this intro, it's not loud enough. It's like -10 left. So we want to get that to like -8, -7 at least, so that this can start to match the drop. Because it sounds like very low energy because of how low the volume is. All you can do is just add a nice, You add your favorite compressor, turn it up a little bit, and then get everything balanced. The vocals that you hear are loud. So once you start compressing, you have to bring down the vocals and start balancing everything out as needed. But you got that. Drew, good job. I like having dreams, and I like your song Dreams. Up next, it is Low Melodian. Melodian coming in with Omnia. I am also very excited for this. We have two melodic guys sitting right next to each other. This is a fun time. Let's go. Hey. Yes, Lodian. No way.
I always thought he was kind of weird.
Let's go, dude! You. God. Oh, Lodian! Bro. You make me go crazy. You know why? Because I've been seeing you progress from Logic, and we got you in Ableton. And I remember you really couldn't be making like heavy dubstep like that. And you weren't even making color bass. And you weren't even doing all this crazy stuff. And look at you now. You are just blooming into a beautiful butterfly, a robotic metal butterfly that is trained with the orchestral strings of strength. Now, what I have to say is that your drop is not loud enough, unfortunately. That's the only thing that was wrong about this song is we're like pulling in, if you see here, pulling in like negative 6.6, negative 6.5, negative 6.2, 6.5. All right, so it's like negative 6.5, almost hitting negative 7. So that's like low in volume. We should be like negative 5, negative 4 LUFS with the energy that we have here. You know, when I turn up my interface to compensate for the lack of gain, it sounds really clean, and I can tell that it's mixed very well. So bravo on that. But we do still need extra compression. We do still need a bit more mastering on this so that we can get the loudness levels a little bit louder on the drop, because the energy levels are lower due to the lack of loudness. But intro, build up, sounding good. Violin strings that come in later on in the phrase, freaking beautiful. And then in this build up, middle build up, I do think that the strings, when building up, sound congested and sound messy with the build up. So I would fix that, make it simple, make it a simple violin build to go with this build up. And dude, finish this track. Awesome. Very good. Make it a whole work wonder. Hit me up, Lodian. We need to collab, bro. We're gonna start collabing all the time because you're ready, man. You're ready. Good job. Next, we got Rhythm Bitch by Snasta. Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and get down with the get down. Ooh. Nice. Snasta coming in with a Rhythm Bitch. I would say not too shabby or loud enough. The width, though, has some issues. I do like the sound design, very cool, but unfortunately, the main basses and all the main leads are not, like, we can't hear all the frequencies, it sounds like. It kind of sounds like they're contained and within a bubble, when really they need to just be let out and they need to shine and have a fun time out there. What I would do is just group all your basses together and then add a multi-band compressor. That will bring in the lows, the mids, and the highs, make everything nice, loud, clean, and make sure that you're not distorting anything too much. That'll be good. It'll be good for all those. It'll make it sound a lot more balanced. I do like the second phrase as well during the drop, super heavy. It is lacking the same as I said before, though, with the frequencies. Otherwise, I think this is pretty cool. I really do. I just think you need to add some more stuff in the intro, make that transition better, because remember, we're building, the buildup is meant to build tension in an amazing way and then release at the drop. So if you're going to have a buildup, make sure that it makes sense with the drop. Just drums, it doesn't really make sense. You want to have like pitch risers, you want to have melodic sounds, you want to have all kinds of different stuff. So experiment, make a cool song out of this, and it'll sound that much doper. Good job, Snesta, with the Rhythm Bitch. Up next, we have Game Over by Spaced Out. Spaced Out Game Over. Let's go ahead and get that right now. Okay. That's pretty solid. I must say, we have song arrangement on point. Overall, a song is made. We're hitting good loudness levels around -6, -5. We're definitely wide enough. The only thing that I really was listening to here that needed work was like call and response. So if you listen to the drop here. So we go like from pre-drop right here. Game over to the start of the drop. But at the start of the drop, it's kind of like a fake out. But camera down. Hold up. Oh, dang, camera. I'm just gonna have to use my other camera. Hold on for the one time. Just use this. All right. Sorry about that. My tripod just died. Classic tripod death. All right. Anyways. So we have like a fake out bass, but the fake out bass is only like half a bar, maybe. So it's not even half a bar. It's like 3/4 of a bar, which is super weird timing. As soon as the drop starts, we have 3/4 of a bar fake out that like leads us to the drop. So that just killed the whole energy. The whole energy's gone because the timing was just destroyed right here. So this is a very big problem. This fake out should be at least 1 or 2 bars. It could even be 4 bars, you know. But you got to be really careful with these fake outs because this is changing and manipulating the timing and the energy of your drop. So dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. So after your pre-drop, it should be a bar. And after that pre-drop plays, it shouldn't just go straight into the drop. There should be a call and response. So it goes. You see, it just starts going into rah, 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 rah with the sustain. There should be a bass that plays, and then it leads into this response. So it goes fake out, and then call, and then response. Fake out does not count as your call. So keep that in mind. Very important. When you put your call and response into this section, you need to start implementing call and response into every single phrase for the first drop, and then every single phrase for the second drop. That'll be very important. It'll take some time. And since the song, you already wrote it without call and response, it may not be the easiest to go back and do this. But if you do it, it will sound complete. It'll sound a lot heavier, and it will make the song make sense. Because right now we have cool sound design, good song arrangement, but it just kind of sounds like everything's all over the place because the timing is not perfect and the flow is not perfect in the drop. So work on those things, and I think you'll be on a really good level. Good job, though. Lily Chaser. Nice. Okay. Who's this from? This is from Hyper Invasion. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, that's too dirty.
Okay.
Oh my.
Oh yeah.
Dirty.
Oh. Cool vibes, I must say. Okay. The only major thing I saw that we need to kind of improve is how mono the drop is. So if you see here during the drop,
Dirty.
our basses are like really staying in the middle. And you can also hear that there's not enough like high frequencies. So kind of the same issue as the other track. We want to add a multi-band compressor. We want to bring out all these frequencies that are being played so that they're loud and balanced. Because right now they kind of sound a little bit contained with the rest of the mix, so you can't hear them as well. Use parallel processing to fix this mono issue. You can keep the mono signal so it sounds like you have it, because we want to keep this original signal you have, but then we can add a wide signal underneath it, and then they'll sound beautiful together and fix the stereo issue that, the mono issue that we're having and make it stereo. That'll be good. Otherwise, if you see here, you zoom in, you can see there's so much dynamics in the song, which is making it to be a nice song. The more use of dynamics, the better things are going to sound because we're moving and we're vibing and our ears are like going on a journey. That's always fun. Remember, dynamics is loud, from loudness to soft to quiet. So that's what we're looking at here. That's really good. Nice job. I like this song. I really would only be fixing that. Otherwise, I do like the song. I do like these different sections. I love this part. It's so cool. Yeah, good job. Very creative, unique stuff I haven't heard before, and that's what I like. Good job. Up next, we got LLL with Porcupine version 3. Look at that kitty. He's a happy kitty.
Porcupine.
Porcupine. Ooh, Porcupine version 3. That was pretty dope. 64 bar drop I'm seeing in the chat, and I must see confirmation 64 bar drop. No, I don't see 64 drop. I see 32 bar drop. Interesting. I think you might see a 64 bar drop because you might be writing it in like 70 BPM. But I don't know. Maybe it is 64 bar drop. Nevertheless, it's long and it's cool. Technically, as long as you're working in 8, 16, 32 bar sections, That's how we DJ. That's how we mix. So, I mean, you could technically make a 128 bar drop and we'll be feeling it. I like it. This is good flow, good vibe. It's mixed well too. Like our basses all sit with each other. And as you see here, we switch between different like rhythms in between the phrases, which is cool. Keeps the listener engaged. Very cool. And if we look here at the wideness levels, very wide. We're at -5. We're nice and loud. So this is looking very cool and clean. If, which is my recommendation, if you added like a subtle sustain, maybe randomly in some different sections, it would add a lot more energy, a lot more beef. I think that'd be really cool. This is sounding very rhythmy, so you technically don't have to do that. This will still go hard in the club. Just make sure that your sub is a clean sine wave and your distortion is clean as well, so that when you play it loud in the sub, everything sounds good. Otherwise, solid submission. Triple L, LLL, or LOL. Porcupine V3. Up next, we got J-Wubs with Apollo. Let's get it.
4050 D, why don't you turn around? That's what I'm gonna do from there and I'll be at the field view outside. The back end of the cable. Okay. I said turn around your legs, you better. I don't want to go into the top back and forth. That's all, yeah. I just leave it. Alright, try to sit right there and walk around it. I don't want to go into the top back and forth. That's all, yeah. I just leave it. Alright, try to sit right there and walk around it.
Hey.
Three, two, one.
Oh, heavens. Okay, that's J-Wubs with his submission, Apollo. And J-Wubs, I must say, I'm sad right now. This is way, way too loud. You know, we're blowing my ears. It's not a fun time. I have to turn my audio interface down to a level that I don't want to turn it down to. If we zoom in, and then if we zoom out of this track, Apollo, you'll see our waveform literally becomes a brick. Look at this. This is not good. This means that we are just clipping and we're pushing everything to the max, and that's not always a good thing. Remember, I keep talking about dynamics going from like loud to soft. If you see the songs above it, you know, going loud to soft, loud to quiet. But this, it doesn't have it. So that is something that needs to be fixed. LUF is showing us -1.9 LUFs, super, super loud. No reason for a trap song to get this loud. A tear out song, for example, the loudest songs can get like -3 LUFs. You shouldn't really get past that. And for my recommendation, this trap song could be like maximum -5 LUFs. So bring your compressors down, bring everything down, and start balancing out the mix. After you do that, then all you'll need to do is simple call and response. With these, right now, you're kind of just throwing the basses at us, and they're not really moving from one to another. So if you start to incorporate call and response with the drop, having one bass play and then the response go, it's going to make a huge difference. I make a lot of videos in call and response on my channel, so check those videos out. But just those things alone will make this song sound so much better, so much more professional. And then with that sample that's playing in the back, we want to be able to hear it. So make sure that it's loud in the mix, it's heavy in the mix, and it's clean in the mix as well. Otherwise, solid submission. You got some homework to do. Let's get on with the next one. Next submission is Animeshka with Jormung and Enfeeble 2. .mp3. Okay, let's do it. Shout out all the music producers, all the Ableton producers, all the Fruity Loop producers, and I guess the Logic producers. Okay, we have a tear out submission. That's tear out submission got very loud. And to be honest, I'm sorry, Animeshka, but this sounds messy. You know, lots of frequency buildups, lots of ear piercing frequencies building up. We're hitting -3 LUFS, but it's not clean gain, right? When we get this loud, it's difficult to keep your frequencies at a level where it's not distorting, where they still sound clean. And then earlier, like I mentioned with the Fletcher-Munson curve, there's a lot of frequencies that our ears perceive as louder than the others. And a lot of those are the higher frequencies. So when we start to layer and start to build up those frequencies, it starts to sound very unnatural to the ears. So EQ your tracks individually. Make sure you use that Fletcher-Munson curve that's in the Discord. You can get that for free. And start bringing down those ear-piercing frequencies. Start to balance out that main lead with the rest of the sounds in the track. That bass lead is literally so loud, it's overpowering, and we're not able to pay attention to the drums, the sub, or any other sounds in the song. That needs to be fixed right away. There's a good chance that you're making this song on like monitors, like speaker monitors. Don't do that because you probably don't have a professional studio and your sound is probably reflecting off of the walls, lots of reverb happening. You need to hear your true sound, so use some good headphones. These are Bear Dynamic 770s, 80 ohm, and you'll be able to hear the true sound. If I didn't have these headphones, I wouldn't be able to give you guys mixing advice and tell you guys that this is too loud or this is too wide or whatever. So it's important to have these if you're making sound from scratch. Otherwise, you can get that dialed down. The sound design's there. Very cool, dark cinematic intros and breakdowns. I think you'll be able to adjust quickly and make some bangers. I like the heaviness, but when we get heavy, it could get messy. Good job. Up next, we got Unknown Face with Hemophobia. Cover art here. Let's go. Yes. Nice. Man, that was heavy. That was top level. If you look here visually, you can see great use of dynamics. Nothing's really too bricked, but when we play it, you can see the lefts and the widths. We're at -6, almost -5. So we are at a good loudness level. We could even go 1 or 2 lefts louder if we wanted to, but we're still loud at this level. This is still mixable as a DJ. And then we're wide enough, right? The main bass lead. This is nice. It's heavily distorted. It's playing well with the sub. So that's cool. There's cool transitions also between the phases. So that's amazing. We are hearing extra buildup in like mud frequencies from the 100 to 400 hertz as soon as you start layering other basses together. So make sure that you tame the mud frequencies. And I really think you could make everything a little bit louder just with the multi-band compressors. Make things brighter, a little louder, and it'll sound a lot more professional. Right now it sounds really good, but if we were to like send this to a mastering engineer or something, they could easily make improvements that will make this sound like a superstar. Good sound design, great vocal use, good dynamics. This is awesome. This is the stuff I like to see. You know, dope, cool music. Good job. That was Unknown Face, UNK, Hemophobia. Up next, we got Dark Mage Music's Alias Froggy Dubs with Fast Boy. Let's go. Let me make sure this isn't warped. Okay.
Fast Boy. Fast Boy.
Oh yeah, chair bass. Whoa! That was cool. Man, at the beginning of it, I was like, yeah, you know, just a regular. But then the chair bass came in with all the fast high energy. Makes me want to dance. That's what I like to hear. This is also cool too. But I think uses of silence and stuff in these sections would go a long way. I like drum and bass, you know what I'm saying? Drum and bass makes me happy. This makes me pretty happy. The only thing though is it's really mono. I would get like the main bass leads, the main bass synths, parallel processed. Make sure you have your mono and your wide signal, and I think that will take you to the next level for sure. You don't want it to be too mono, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise, fast boy, good job, Rocky Dubs. Next, we got Death Row Done. Death Row Done is by Esco. Unleash your wild side. Let's go. Let's get it. Death
One, two, three, back with the. Row. Ooh, that's solid. That's Esco with Death Row Done. Now I must say, the sound design, song arrangement sounds pretty good. The intro and the build-up, pretty cool, nice and cinematic. Not as danceable as you would want it to be. You know, it's kind of more just like... So like, if we were making a song in 140 and we write something in halftime in the intro, which is, this is basically halftime. My head's lobbing, half the speed. When this is the full speed. So that means I'm dancing in 70 beats per minute at the beginning. And then when we get to the drop, it's 140 beats per minute. So we change it up. The switch between half and double time and all this is used a lot in like metal and rock and stuff. So it's really important that we use it creatively and use it well. When I first started producing, I would accidentally write all my intros and stuff in halftime, and I didn't really know it. So get used to making sounds and making drums faster so that we can, you know, kind of bob our head to that faster rhythm during the intro. We want to add energy and make people dance at the beginning of the song. You know, we don't want them to slow down half the speed unless we really want them to, unless we're doing it in a creative way and doing it on purpose. That's important. Also, look at the drop. It is 16 bars. And the rest of the intro and build is a lot longer than the drop. So when we hear the drop and we're dancing and we come to the end, it really sounds like we need more. It doesn't sound long enough. You can easily make this 32 bars. This is a perfect example of a 16 bar drop really sounding too short. You know, we listen to all this and then we get to the 16 and it's already over and we're back to all this just for another 16. That should be rethought. You should really make that drop the star of the song. During the drop as well, you have two main things going, right? Like a main bass lead, and then the sustain in the back. That the thing is like they're both in the same section in the stereo field, so they're like clashing together. They don't like have space to breathe, so you can't really hear the bass lead too much, and the sustain is louder than the bass lead. These sounds need to be balanced together, and then you need to make either the sustain wide and the bass lead mono, or the sustain mono and the bass lead wide, so that they fit in the stereo field with each other. This is how like Resurrect and Prosecute make their drops. They'll put like a wide bass and then like a super dope sustain in the middle. So that's how you have to do it. You have to make space in the stereo field and make space in your frequency spectrum. Then I think it'd be good to go. Otherwise, you have some good call and response here. You have some good sound design. I would just work on those things, make the drop a little bit louder, add some new unique phrases in the second part of the drop, and I think you'll have like a sick freaking banger, man. For sure. I also would recommend on the downbeat. Like that main bass lead, you can just hear. It sounds really like it needs space to breathe. You add multi-band compressors, add parallel processing. Make sure it's wide and mono. Make sure it's loud and bright. And then on the downbeat, you can add something cool to the offbeat. So it goes like... So it goes downbeat, and then response. You can add something in the offbeat in the middle of all your downbeats, and that'll like add sick rhythm and great transition from that call to the response. And then boom. You'll be on to the races. Good job. Good submission. Death Row by Esco. Up next, we got Fear Unknown and Ironhide Rise featuring Messenian, sorry. Unreleased, unsigned. Let's get it. Thank you for submitting. Let's go.
Fear unknown, Ironhide, Messenian inside. Dark side soldiers, streets are a graveyard, no one here to save you. Yeah, you better go hard, fear no evil. Rising from the ashes, each and every city we be blowing up the atlas. Treat you like a battleship, you improve capsize. Quick with the Dracos, working on your past life straight from the gutter. Born in a hearse, spent the whole universe, spent life through a verse. Fear unknown, Ironhide, Messenian inside. We embrace the night. Underground about to take flight. Where all my soldiers that be ready on the block? Where all my soldiers that be holding down the block? Where all my clips on the bricks on the block? We pop like clocks when we taking out the ops. The night, underground, bound to take flight. We born in a hearse, spit life through a verse. We're all my soldiers that be ready on the block. save you. Yeah, you better go hard, fear no evil. Rising from the ashes, each and every city we be blowing up the atlas. Funky like a battleship, leading crew capsize. Quick with the Dracos, working on your past life straight from the gutter. Born in a hearse, split the whole universe, spit life to a verse. Who really rolling? Wavelength, get on it. We embrace the night. Underground, about to take flight. Where all my soldiers that be ready on the block? Where all my soldiers that be holding down the block? Where all my click from the bricks on the block? We pop like clocks when we taking out the ops. We embrace the night. Underground, about to take flight. We born in a hearse, spit life through a verse.
Okay, that was Fear, Unknown, and Ironhide Rise featuring Messinian. Now, there's a lot of different people on this track. There's apparently these people have been making music for a while, so I'm kind of expecting a lot here, right? But unfortunately, what I got is something that I hear often. And what I'm talking about is this Virus Syndicate type of feel, right? Where this vocalist is, we were just talking about this actually. This vocalist is actually rapping in halftime in 70 when the song is made in full time. And because of that, he's slowing down the feel of the fast heaviness. And when Virus Syndicate first did this, like in like 2012 or whatever, around that time, it was new and it was different. So it worked and they ran with it and they made a huge brand out of it. He's cool. I personally don't listen to that type of, hip hop in the dubstep because it sounds cringy. It doesn't sound good. I come from Miami, Florida, where I was just studying audio engineering and I was around rappers. I love the hip hop and trap culture and that music is what I love. And if all the rappers and rap songs were made at the same speed and everyone was rapping in the same exact way, it would not sound good. The reason we like different rappers is because they rap at different rhythms, at different speeds, and they sound different. So when multiple people are making songs like this where the vocal is singing like Virus Syndicate, rapping halftime, and spitting a very, very simple elementary school bars, doesn't sound good. We're entering 2023. We're looking for new sounds. And I just don't think that this just doesn't sound good to me. It may sound good to other people, but when you start competing with all the other people that have songs that sound exactly like this, you'll see it doesn't really stand out. And during these sections too, we are using vocals like how Excision and Datsik used to back in like 06. Sounds really weird. And this sound is like expired.
Embrace the night. Underground, about to take flight. We're on my
This breakdown to build up is so old. Excision and Datsik. This is all they used to do back in the day. And so many people copied them for like a decade after that. So when I hear it now, it just doesn't sound new or unique. The thing is, though, is when we get to the drop, there's like fast, heavy energy, dope, like heaviness, but nothing is as heavy as what this sounds like. This is by far the best part of the song, the heaviest part of the song, and unfortunately it comes way at the end, and we only hear it for 16 bars. Overall, if you just took the vocals out and definitely took them out of these like during the drop, it would sound a lot better. Actually have him rap fast and in like the speed of the song instead of halftime, and it would make a big difference. He's a good vocalist. The tones of his voice sounds great, but I mean, rhythm is a whole other part of this. And if he's going to be manipulating the rhythm of this song, it's really important that you pay attention to that. So yeah, not that bad, honestly. It could be, those are easy fixes. And I think vocals are really important. It is the very best instrument of mankind. It could do everything, so use it wisely. Up next, we got we got Jorge Santos with Post Nut Clarity. Yes, sir. I just got some post-nut clarity. What you mean? I mean some clarity. I just nutted. What you mean though? Bitch, I mean post-nut clarity. What you mean post-nut clarity? I mean I just now have clarity. From you, girl. But why? Because you're not that pretty, really. I have post-nut clarity. Oh, damn. Shout out Jorge, the super chats, and his amazing title. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, the little drums. Oh, the drums. Oh, dang, Jorge. 6 minutes, man? You're really doing it to us, man. What about your popcorn? Sorry. I want popcorn. Where's Miley? Oh baby, oh baby. Mastermind. He only comes when he attacks. Mastermind. He's a lone soul. He's a lone wolf. Mastermind. Mastermind gets one girl. He does what to one girl? Oh, post my clarity. Mastermind. Some may say he has clarity. Others say he has post-nut clarity. So much clarity he doesn't even know what to do with it. He can see everything in front of him. Post-nut, not pre-nut. Clarity. The lonely soul said once, during pre-nut he had no clarity. Sad, sad boy, walked the streets. Pre-nut's never good. Where's the clarity? Hashtag post-nut clarity, shout out hashtag clear. Damn, that song was long. Damn, the Jorge Santos, you're really doing it to us out here, man. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. That's probably the longest submission we had. But you know what, Jorge, you're getting what you want today because you donated twice. So we're playing your stuff, and you know what? I'm giving you feedback on your stuff. First thing I gotta say, damn boy, that's way too long. This section right here is so long. Way too long. I want you to find a reference track of a song that you love. It's dear to your heart. Put it in your DAW. Look at how they do their timing, how they do their intros, build-ups, drops, how they do all their transitions, and learn from the timing and the way they arrange their song. Do that. Incorporate it here. Also, if you heard me out here, these drums, these are tiny, mini, little drums. I turn it up all the way on my interface, and there's like no volume here. It's very, very low in volume. We're at like negative 14, negative 13, negative 12, negative 13 LUFS. So negative 13 LUFS is very, it's not loud, man. It's very low. So even when I turn it up, I can barely hear it. And then on top of that, the drums, you can't feel it. We need to feel the kick. We need to hear that snare. They all need to be louder. You can use compressors, saturators, get things louder. After you do all that, the song will sound a lot better. Get things louder, make things shorter, and make your drums fat. You got it. Got that, man. Up next is a little WIP from ANBV. Let's go.
But you do not have style. As a human being, how can I express myself? You will create a style, because style is a crystallization.
Ooh. like it. Man, that was vibey, man. I really like the bubbly feels, all the cool scents. Everything seems to work out harmonically. And the rhythm and flow is just all so different. It's really unique. And I like to hear things that I never really heard before. The sub, when it comes on during this section, the sub sounds nice and clean. So I like that. Now, the main thing that I have an issue with is this main bass lead that plays with the color bass. This is the only thing that sounds like not loud enough, not intense enough. This is your downbeat, so it should be really powerful. When the color bass is playing, that's a good sound, but it's not intense and not strong enough. So layer that color bass with this bass that's sitting on top. Just make it all thicker, brighter, louder, so that it matches with this louder bass that's up next. We need to balance these sounds together, and then that'll make a huge difference with this drop. Already the drop sounds amazing, and already you guys can visually see the use of dynamics is being done all throughout. So that's making it sound really clean. This is cool, man. Good job. I like this. All these new color-based submissions, man. We're entering the color-based future. Oh. Up next, we got CR8EV17 with Unholy, Echoes of the Unholy, EP number 2. Cool. Okay. Hold on, I need to hear this again. Damn, man. Oh. So clean. Okay, so it looks like we have a nice tear-out submission. Unholy by CR8EV17. Amazing. I must say, this is mixed very clean. And like you guys can tell, like with the dynamics, we're going from like soft to loud, just effortlessly. And also when we hit the drop, we have clean gain. It's really loud, right? We're looking at the LUFS and we're pulling in like -4 LUFS. We're very wide as well. But nothing sounds overly distorted. Nothing is like clipped or looks bricked. It's clean gain. So this is really nice to see, really nice to hear as well. if we were to play this in the club or the festival, this song would reign supreme because it's just clean frequencies. We can turn it up and it sounds heavy, the sub's fat, and that's really what makes the biggest difference. You could have dope arrangement, dope sound design, but if it's not a clean mix, it can't go too far when we're playing it at a level that's so loud we're blowing eardrums at the club and at the festival. You got to make sure we got them clean mixes, and my boy here does. Also, sick intros. Like use of the orchestral elements, use of dark elements. It's just good energy, good use of filling out your frequencies and making sure it doesn't sound like it's empty. There's not much to say, man, except release it. I personally think that the dynamic switches, like you go from like bump, you could like sustain things a little bit more and keep things riding out. You don't have to switch so much dynamically like that, but it works. You made it work. Everything sounds good and clean. Good job, dude. That's what I like to see. CR80 V17. Up next, we have Jorge Santos once again with his second submission. Long time coming. He gets a second submission because he donated twice with the super thanks. Thank you, boy. Let's go ahead and get that. Ooh, there we go. With Jorge Santos submission, long time coming. Okay, Jorge, I see you. This sounded a lot better than the other submission, I must say. The vibes here, amazing. There's a lot of reverb and delay happening, so it's hard to tell if this is you playing or not. We're guessing MIDI. I'm not sure. Please come in and tell us. That'd be too. That'd be so dope. But it sounds nice and clean. Good transition here. If you see here, though, we're really like low in volume. -20 LUFS, like super low in volume. You have to start using compressors and start bringing out your sound so you can get louder in these sections. Obviously, these sections are louder, but the drums are being like hidden in the mix. We can't feel the kick in rides as much as we should. So you want to balance the way your drums sound with the rest of your sounds, and then you want to make sure that you have sub frequencies playing as well. There are like mid bass frequencies playing, but there's not really a sub. So make sure you add a sub or a bass guitar to play some sub frequencies so that you can fill out the frequency range and make sure that everything sounds clean. Oh, this is cool. This is very ambient, very electronica. This isn't really electronic dance music because we're not dancing at a fast pace, right? This is something that, could be in the background of a video game, a movie. It's chill, good electronic music. So, good job, Jorge. I like to see it. Up next, we got Pipes, Work in Progress by Polaris. Let's go ahead and get that right now. I didn't want that to end, really. That was cool. Good sounds, nice robotic alien type vibes I'm getting here. I like the sub. The sub sounds clean too. You can even feel it here. It sounds nice and clean. I like that. The only really problem that we have here is just 2 mono. See? It sounds decent in the headphones, but if we were to like blow this out to like a professional studio or like a festival or a club, it would sound significantly lower energy and a lot lower in volume and a lot different because of how mono it is. Use parallel processing. It would make this sound a little bit louder and it would get you a wide signal. It'd fix all the mixing, all the mono mixing mistakes that are happening here. You'll be able to widen it out and then make the song longer, finish it, because this is a bang. I like it. This could probably be a little bit louder too in this intro section. We'll be running right here. At -22 LUFS. Jesus. Yeah, make your intros louder, fellas. Use compressors. Remember, you can automate the on and off of a compressor so that it only is happening at the beginning and not happening during your drop. So do stuff like that. Make things easy for you. Up next, we got Magoo with Imposter. Let's go.
When's imposter is sus.
Knock the fuck out. Fuck out.
That ride isn't working.
When's imposter is sus.
Knock the fuck out. Fuck out.
A. That is Magoo with Imposter. I must say, that was pretty dope. It was giving me some nice feelings. I like the vibes that you're bringing here, and I like the cool, like, synth melodic fake out that you have. The only problem that I have here with the fake out is that it doesn't sound loud or bright compared to the rest of the mix.
Imposter is
So, like, all this sounds so nice and clean and well mixed, but when we get to this,
sus.
it sounds like muffled and contained and just not, it sounds like it's maybe too compressed or something. I'm not too sure. You're going to have to look at the layers and make sure that you're compressing ever so slightly, not too much, and make sure it sounds bright and loud so that it's balanced with what it sounds like before and what it sounds like after. Because right now it sounds like this is a lot lower in volume and sounds a lot like lower quality than the rest of the mix, which is really weird. Very rare for something like this to happen, but it's an easy fix, definitely. And the whole idea of you adding this synth melodic pre-drop right before the drop is really cool. So I like that. Fake out section in the second drop has the same issue. And then in both drops, when you're playing this, you have a lot of nice cool sound design, but it's all very loud and all playing at the same time for a very long time. So you can start to incorporate silence and start adding silence in different sections before the next little phrases. And do that before you hit this fill, which is like another good use of dynamics. So yeah, have multiple dynamic shifts while this drop is playing, and then everything will flow a lot better and it'll be easier to the ears too, and it'll just sound harder. Otherwise, I do like the sustains, I do like the drop, I like the vibes you're going for, so keep at it. Get those things fixed, and I think you're going to be on your way to a bang bang banger. Up next, we have Disrupt Silence. Check it out here. version 2, 12, 14, 22, work in progress. Let's get it. Hey.
Step aside. Silence. Your power is meaningless.
Build up to nothing. I'll be the drop. Fuck it.
Step aside.
That's my acapella drop. Hey, that is Disrupt with Silence, version 2, _, 12, 14, 22, work in progress, done. And I must say, we got some sick flow. We got some clean sounds going on here. As you can see, great use of dynamics, going from loud to quiet, at ease. But we are missing some things. And I want you to look first at what we're missing in the intro. So when this is playing, we have drums, right? That's good. Check. We have a subplane, so we have the low frequencies playing, and we have like some synths playing that ew, ew. So those are high frequencies playing. But where are the mids? Where are the mids at? There's no mid frequencies playing. We need an instrument or something to be taking up that space where the mid frequencies live and have those playing with the lows and the highs. So make sure you have something like that. We run into the same exact issue in the drop as well. We have our sub playing, we have cool high frequency basses playing, but there's no mids. This bass right here, this downbeat, this is the mids downbeat, which needs to be turned up. There should be prominent turned up to match the loudness of this. But when this is playing, you can hear it sounds like there's space available for us to put some sound in. So layer that high frequency bass with the mid bass so that they all play together. We want to fill up the frequency spectrum, lows, mids, and highs throughout the whole song and start moving back and forth between that. After you do that, this drop will sound full, professional, heavy, and fat. And think about it like this. Like you could add a mid sustain bass. So it could be a fast bass like this or a sustain. Like just anything mid-heavy sustain. I make multiple sustain tutorials on those types of basses, so incorporate some, balance and mix it in, and it won't sound like there's like empty space here, because that's what it sounds like right now. Otherwise it's clean. Just make sure you fill up your spaces and get it louder. You want to be at like -6, -5 lefts. Right now we're at like -8 LUFS maximum, so you want to definitely fix the loudness levels. Get the lean loudness meter for free if you need to. That's a good job. Next, we got Gas Them All by Photos. Let's get it. Okay, that was Photos with Gas 'Em All. All right, Photos right here, Gas Them All. Now, I must say, this is heavily distorted at the beginning. As soon as I play it, it sounds like I'm playing multiple songs at the same time. That's not good at all. It sounds like I want to turn the song off like right away. So you need to make sure you're not over distorting anything at any time. It sounds like a subwoofer is blown in a car. Not a good sound. Now, the sound design here is really cool and stuff, but you need drums. If you added drums during this section, then it would sound complete. Otherwise, it just sounds like a preview of a sample pack or something. No, that's not really music. It's just sounds. You need drums to go with that. And when we get here, it gets way too loud and starts to really hurt. -2 LUFS. For no reason. It shouldn't be that loud. And this is just one sustain playing. There's no movement going on between different basses. So there's a lot of problems. You can't just play noise. You have to arrange these noises into rhythms that make people dance. Very important. When we get to this section, we start to get closer to what we need to do. But the main lead is just overpowering. There's too much mud frequencies building up. So make sure that you make dips in between 100 to 400 hertz with your EQ. Start cleaning up any mud frequencies and start using dynamics. I keep mentioning you should go from loud to quiet to loud to quiet, and you want to keep doing that. If you just play loudness the whole time, our ears get overwhelmed, tired, and exhausted. So keep all of that in mind. Now I see some people have submitted. We actually will be playing your tunes next. We can't play anymore. The stream has gone on for like 2.5 hours, so you will be in the next stream. I think I just added yours. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so these 3 right here are for the next. Up next, last submission. Like That by Dennison. Let's go. Yeah, that's Dennison with Like That. I must say, nice tear out vibes, nice and heavy. We have sound design on point. We can listen here and look at the lufs. So it's like some trap style right there. Now the only problem that I have here is that there's too much like muddy frequencies building up. Whenever we make tear out, we are layering a lot, adding a lot of frequencies. So the frequencies that build up from 100 hertz to 400 hertz, they don't stack well together. So we have to make sure that we cut those out and tame them really well compared to the high frequencies. So make sure you do that. And after you do that, make it a little bit brighter so that they sound like they're standing out in the mix. And the mix will sound a lot cleaner that way. Love the guitar. Overall, this is cool. I really like the vibes you're bringing. And I really just think that the overall mix just needs to be fixed. It's just a little bit too muddy, you know? You can easily fix that. And then after that, you'll be able to finish this song and release a banger. Thank you guys so much for joining. I appreciate it. You all are awesome. I'm so happy to see you guys improving. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on my videos. More coming soon. I'm Dripment. Thank you for joining and submitting your tracks for feedback. Have a good day, guys. Peace.